Peace. Welcome to Queen L LLC. This is Queen L. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, this week we really don't have much going on, which is great because we are in the shadow period for the upcoming Venus retrograde, which takes place on July 22nd. And so you will see a video coming up later this week with regard to that retrograde and all it entails, really all things Venus. In addition to that, we are already experiencing several other retrogrades. So I will link those videos above. We're dealing with Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Neptune retrograde, lots of retrogrades. So this week, just glancing over at my notes, we just have two major transits taking place, and that is on July 10th, we have Mercury opposing Pluto. Now, you know, I always link my aspects video above. Essentially, an opposition is just completely kind of going against the energy of another planet, basically blocking the energy of the other planet. So in this case, Mercury, which is our communication planet, is directly opposing Pluto. Now, remember, Pluto is in retrograde, so this is our time of assessing just the chapters of our life that we have had thus far, with Pluto retrograde being in Capricorn right now. We look at since Pluto was in Capricorn in 2008, we look at the changes, the different chapters that we have had in our life, our evolution from 2008, where we had that major financial crash, all the way up to today. Again, I'm linking my Pluto retrograde video above. But with the planet Mercury being in opposition of Pluto, it means essentially that we need to monitor how we communicate with others. And also, this is a time, again, this is on July 10th, to not take things too personal if you have a conflict with others because of feeling misunderstood or someone else feeling misunderstood with you. The reason why we really need to not take things too personal if we have any type of conflict with anyone is that in addition to this Mercury opposing Pluto energy on July 10th, we also have the moon square Pluto. Now, what does that mean? Well, essentially, with the moon being representative of our emotions and our hidden self, by the moon being square Pluto, in addition to Mercury being opposing Pluto, it just essentially means to not take things too personally. Conflicts, they come with, you know, this life that we live. There's the ebb and flow of life. On a personal note, just note that if a conflict does arise, that you know, it's easier said than done to take it with a grain of salt. But when you are aware of what's going on in the cosmos, then you can be more mindful of just putting things into perspective and to not taking offense to everything when it comes your way, because things will come your way, essentially. Also, it's key to not let your communication style, the way you express yourself, impede your growth. If you have been given feedback that you're a bit harsh in the way that you communicate, or a bit blunt and lacking tact, then this is the time to reassess things and to, you know, see if you need to balance that energy out, and to, you know, put yourself in the other person's shoes and think about how they feel. Think about how the person receiving the information you're giving them, how they are receiving it. Also, with regard to business dealings, it's important to kind of go over things with a fine-tooth comb and to make sure that whatever, with regard to your business dealings, whatever you intend to express, whatever you mean when you are expressing yourself, when you're communicating, when you're creating those types of agreements with someone, or some type of service agreement, that you are clear in that way that you're conveying that message, to make sure that it's not just, what you intended, but that the output aligns with what you intend. I hope that makes sense. It's, yeah, look, Mercury, right? So just make sure that when you mean what you say, that you actually say what you mean as well. Okay. Now, in addition to this transit, later in this second set of 7 days for the month of July, ending the first half of July, essentially. We also have a transit taking place July 14th through 15th, and that is the sun being sextile Uranus. Sextile has energies blending together, merging together. It's a great synergy, and this is representative of, yourself. This is all about you right now. The sun represents you. And then Uranus is our planet of innovation, of spontaneity, of variety, also technology. So it's important to do you, be original, be yourself. You were uniquely and wonderfully made, and it's important that you are reminded of that. So during this time, tap into that energy to be creative. If you are someone that likes to be artistic, this is a great time, especially with this being in the Venus retrograde shadow period, to tap into that creativity. But be original, be yourself, do you. That's why I always like to say, do you, boo. This is your time to tap into that. So this week, like I said, is just really brief. We also, in next week, we'll have a new moon coming up as we enter that Venus retrograde. So stay tuned for information regarding that in next week's weekly astrology video. But that has been it for today's weekly astrology video. So thank you so much for joining me today. Be blessed. Peace. Ashe.